Hi guys, welcome back. I am Stu and this is Coaster Crazy for Roller Coaster Tycoon Classic. You have limited funds but unlimited time to turn this mountainside area into a vast roller coaster park. Your objective: to have 10 different types of roller coaster operating in your park, each with an excitement value of at least 6.00. So another coaster building scenario then. This one has no length requirement and only 6 excitement, so should be fairly simple then. Free admission to the park. Let's see what rides we've got to begin with. We've got transport rides, we've got a few gentle rides, nothing major. We could probably use these two. An okay selection of coasters to begin with, nothing spectacular. A few good thrill rides to begin with, some water rides and some shops. Okay, we've got kiosk, toilet, food and drink stalls. That's pretty cool then. I think what I'll do then, I'll put my research into roller coasters. No mucking about with this. We've got a few flat rides we can put down. So I think what we'll do then, let's have a quick look. Yeah, we've got... Yeah, I think what we'll do is we'll just build down. We'll put some flat rides down, make like a nice path loop going around this lake down here and back up. Put flat rides and things on the inside, and then what we'll do is we can then put coasters on the outside. And once we've got a decent amount of guests coming into the park, we'll probably look to put down a coaster early to begin with, something fairly simple that we'll use as our profit coaster to bring the money in, and then from there then we can look at making some cool coasters, some ridiculous coasters, just see what we can do actually. So I'm going to crack on with the building then, and I'll see you in a bit. It is August year 1, so I've got my shops just down here. We've got the umbrella set up to £20. Now they won't buy that normally, but then when it rains they will all rush to the kiosk and you'll see an absolute ton of cash. So if you look at the shop sales, as you can see, June, big spike. July, hardly anything. So as you can see, it rained in May and again in June. And then coming down then we've got a couple of pirate ships, a gentle car ride, a couple of swinging inverter ships. We've got a carousel, a twist, bumper boats, and we have got a log flume. Decent excitement on that, so we're making some good money. Drop down a few dinosaurs. I figure we've got the dinosaur scenery already unlocked, so I figure we'll maybe have some sort of dinosaur theming. So maybe all the coasters we can name after dinosaurs. And well, just have a play about, really, just have a bit of fun. There's no time limit on this one. There's no length requirement for the coasters, so I reckon we just take out time, play about and enjoy it, because we don't know what the other scenarios are going to be like. So let's just enjoy this one while we can and then plod on. It is May year 2, so we've put down our first coaster then. It's a launched corkscrew coaster. Now they don't launch very quickly, so I've got it going into a boomerang, bat rip or batwing element, depending on what you want to call it. I've got this book I found in a free bookshop that was fairly near me. It's since closed down now, but it's called White Knuckle Ride. So it's a book about all these weird and wonderful roller coasters. A lot of them are probably closed down now because this book is from the 90s, and so there was a section on it about the Orient Express roller coaster. I'm just reading it now. The world's first boomerang element, a twist since adapted by many other steel coasters, including Goudrix, which was built in Parc Asterix in France. So yeah, this is my profit coaster then. It's called Pterodon. It's only 5.77, so it's not enough to help me pass the scenario goal. So it's not quite a 6. So I don't know, maybe later on I can either edit the design, I can maybe change the design, change the layout, try and get the excitement over 6, or I could just build an extra coaster. So I'm not really sure yet. We'll see how we go along. So we're making some decent money now, charging £10 a ride for this. It's fairly simple to build these. It goes into a corkscrew element and then into a half loop, and then you do the same in reverse. So it's a half loop, then back to a corkscrew element, and then another corkscrew element, and then another one then to do the cobra roll there. Down the slope, around the loop, and then underground then there's a break, and then that just brings you back to the station via a chain lift. Quite happy with that design. It's making me some tidy money. So what I'll do now is I'll crack on with the rest of the coasters and see what we can do. It is August year 2, and this is my Alamosaurus. It's a Mobius twister coaster. So the Mobius means it's one complete track. So if you start off in the left hand station, you'll go around, you'll end up finish off in the right hand station, and vice versa. So it's a launch coaster. So we've got the booster tracks just there after the station, and then we've got 2 top hats. So one goes over, one goes under. Back down, and then back to the station. Very quick ride. Good excitement on this. Making a ton of cash on this. So I've got all the coasters. I've put them up at £10 when I start. I've got all the on-ride photos set to £3 as well. So I'm really going to milk the guests on this one. Take as much money from them as I can, because I don't care if they spend all their money and go home, because I'm not chasing guest numbers. So all I care about at the moment is getting as much money as I can, and that way then I've got more money to build bigger and better coasters. It is April year 3, and coaster number 3 then is Velociraptor. It's a looping coaster. Good excitement. Again, making good money off it. Goes up the chain lift. First drop goes into a tunnel. Through the photo section. Loop around the station. Underground, back up. Into the second loop. Through the first loop. Down. Through the third and final loop, back around and up the chain lift and back to the station. Now with this one, I'll let you into a little secret. We'll go on to the underground view. It wasn't quite going fast enough to make this loop here, so I've had to hide a little booster just around here. There you go, you can just about see it there. And that makes it just around and back to the station, but I've got it nicely hidden. I don't know, where can we see it? Can we see it? No, it's just tucked away there. It's quite hard to see, so I've hidden it nicely, but a lot of people probably wouldn't have spotted it without me pointing it out, but I thought I'll point it out just in case people try and do something similar and they can't get it to work, and they're wondering how I managed to get it to work. But sometimes you've got to do these little tricks, but if you can hide them, then that's even better. It is August year 3, coaster number 4, Brontosaurus. It's a hypercoaster. Again, good money off this. Where's it gone? No, that one's already gone. So we'll wait for this one in the station to go on the way then. Run on fast forward just to just to get it up. So it goes underground, up the chain lift, so we're going up to 110 feet. I'll leave the height markers on. So with coasters like this, what I like to do is just have them sort of start off at one height, drop down, go back up to just below that height, and do the same. Little sort of mid-course brake run there, block brake, down, underground. Nice bit of air time over there. Under the bridge and under the log flume, back down. Good interactions with the looping coaster through the loop. And then back down. Little underground section just to help me make the final bend, because it's quite tricky to try and get it to get from there to here whilst not going too fast. So because there is a change in height, so the easiest way is just to go underground, and you can kind of hide that way. There you go. See, if I was to put that above ground, it would look very messy, but having it underground, it kind of tucks it away, it hides it, so so you don't get to see that. But a little behind the scenes tour. I think earlier I called this a cobra roll, this element here. It's not cobra roll because it doesn't go. If it went underneath and did that in reverse, then it would be, but I'm not even sure what that is. But it's cool all the same. It is March, year 4, and we've gone ridiculous. So this is Diplodocus. It's a Mobius Giga coaster. I've gone for, on the previous video I did that arc twister, so you've got 2 stations and they're joined there at the front tile, heading in opposite directions. So because the front tile is touching, that means you can synchronize them. So it comes out of the station, you've got the launch tiles, you've got the booster tracks there, so that shoots it up over just enough, down, then they're tilted towards each other, so you've got that like a high five element. And again, although if they were to high five each other at that speed, they'd probably end up breaking their hands. And then block brakes at the end and back to the station. So let's have a look at the speeds of one of these. Right, here we go. So as they zoom past each other, they're both going 60. And again at the bottom. Yeah, so like I said, completely ridiculous. But why not? We've got loads of money. I flattened out this this space on the top, just 1 or 2 tiles, just so that I was able to build it. I built this in a I was playing about in the ride creation screen, and I just thought I'll plonk it down because it's like I said, it's ridiculous, but it's quite cool. So let's have a look at the next one. Coaster number 6, T-Rex, and it's a stand-up twister coaster. Good excitement on this. So it comes out of the station, little dip over the water into a chain lift. Now I remember growing up, in books you'd read that T-Rex was this was the most fierce of all dinosaurs, and it was huge and it would kill everything, and etc, etc. And then in recent years, the scientists, they all say actually, well, it was probably just a carnivore, probably just a scavenger. There we go, big loop. Now this is a cobra roll. Probably just a carnivore, because if you think of it, how could it do all that running when it's got those silly little arms? If it fell over, that would be it. It would probably be dead. Little barrel roll, block brake, and then nice bend, little underground section, and back to the station. Yeah, so I don't know, was T-Rex a big king of the dinosaurs, or was he just a scavenger? I don't know. Does it really matter? Probably not. It is March year 5, coaster number 7 then, Brachiosaurus. So this tall fella then is an air powered coaster, so we don't use these very often because there's not a huge amount you can do with them. So I've stuck it underground out of the way. So there you can see is the yellowish one. So it shoots up over the top hat and down, and then brakes then, and then back to the station. But I figure it's a fairly easy one to build, and we can always use this big tower then as a way of interacting another ride with it, so we can have it going wrapping round or something like that. But yeah, on with the next one. So we're into August then. One thing I'm doing is, as and when I'm building a new coaster, I'm going into the profit settings, profit chart, sorting, and then anything that's not making a profit, like this one now isn't. Let's have a look. Why is that not making profit? Don't know. I think it's broken down. It should be alright now. But yeah, I'm just going through that, just making sure that there's no coasters that aren't we're not making a profit of, because what it is, we're charging £10 to begin with, but over time the guests won't pay that forever. So then as soon as they won't pay that, we'll just drop the price down, probably to £5, because that way then we won't have any issues with them not paying. So where's that coaster gone? There he is. So we've got a mine train coaster, good excitement on this, Ankylosaurus. Not really that fussy with the colour schemes, because we don't really know what colour dinosaurs were. So there you go with these mine trains, just have lots of twists and have them going over themselves and under themselves. Little interaction with the air powered coaster here. Nice changes of height and speed. And there's a lot of supports on this one as well. That way then, if I do build any more coasters around this side, we've got something to sort of aim at, something to try and interact with. And there you go, nice underground section with a brake under there, and then that takes it back to the station. It is April year 6, and see if you can guess what these 3 coasters are called. Yep, this one's Triceratops, or these 3 are Triceratops, so there's a little bit of variation on the excitement. There you go. They're all above 6 though. It's raining at the moment, so the guests aren't jumping on the rides. But rather than just having them going all straight up, I thought I'd do something a little bit different with the top. So these ones on the outside, they twist and then they go into like a quarter loop. I think it looks quite cool anyway. So there's a little bit of fence in there, so you get a little bit of bonus for the scenery. There's a little bit of water underneath there, so there's a little bit of a bonus for that. Plus the interactions with the other coaster, and you've got to have a Triceratops, haven't you? That's one of if you ask people for like a top 5 dinosaur list, they'd probably put Triceratops in there somewhere, wouldn't they? Okay, so let's see what's next. It is August year 7, and coaster number 10 then is Diplodocus. So we've got a racing Mobius hyper twister. So we're running 6 trains on this one, and the way I've got the trains is, let's watch this go around. I'll explain the way I've got them painted. So just trying to vary the direction of the bends to in order to keep the trains fairly even. a little crossover section, because they do have to return to the opposite station that they left, and then back to the station. So this one on the inside is just missing. No, it didn't work. I've got the chain lift missing from that one, so I'm hoping it'll sort of even out, but it didn't. But they do tend to change when depending on whether the train is full or empty or half empty or whatever, or half full, up to you. Because obviously if the train's heavier, it'll tend to go down hills a little bit faster. So the way I've got it then, so we've got 6 trains. So I've done coasters number 1, 2 and 3 in different colours, and then I've repeated those colours then for number 4, 5 and 6. So let's say, for example, this is coaster number 1 and 4. So then the pink ones, so then these purple ones here, they would be coasters number 2 and 5, and then the orange ones, they would be coasters number 3 and 6. That way then, when they're synchronized together, they've got the same colors running together. So I think that's quite cool. They are a bit of a pain when it comes to testing, because when you go to testing, it tends to have most of them on the same track, so you have to run a few trains through. You have to go in and uncheck synchronize, run a few trains through so that they line up. So one of the reasons why I like doing the colors the way they are is because it is kind of easier to get them synchronized by doing that. So that's our 10 coasters then that we've built. We needed to get 10 coasters built with an excitement of over 6, but the first one we built, our profit coaster, the corkscrew coaster over here, this one's only 5.76, so I wasn't sure whether I'd edit it or build another coaster altogether. And looking at it, we've got a huge space over here that needs filling with something, otherwise it kind of looks out of place, this empty hill. So rather than editing this one over here, I'll leave that as it is, and I'll just build a new coaster over here. So we'll end up with 11 coasters, only 10 of them over the 6. It is March year 8, so I've gone for a flawless coaster then. This is Orcosaurus, and so it goes up the chain lift. Haven't done anything fancy with this, just something fairly quick and simple. So up the chain lift. By quick and simple, I mean building it, not the train going up the chain lift, because in hindsight it is a bit tedious having to watch it going up. But so up the chain lift, around the bend onto a diagonal, because why not? It's always good to mix it up a little. Down the first step, back up around, down the next one, straighten off, photo section, little twist there, helix down, cobra roll, loop. There's a brake section just there because it was going too fast. The stats were okay, it's just when it first came back the positive G's were very high. So what I've done is I put that little brake there. It hasn't really affected the excitement. I thought it might raise it a little, but it didn't really do that much to it. It just brought the positive G's down a little bit, and that's it. So I've now got 11 coasters, 10 of which are above 6 excitement. But what I've done is with the 3 Triceratops coasters, the launch coasters here, I've closed them down, and then what I've done then is click them into build mode and then go out of it, and then that resets the test results. That way the game only thinks I've got 9 coasters above 6. So what I'll do now is I'll save the game, and then we'll come back and then we'll run these on test. When the results come back, it'll complete it. I can put my name in, and then we can have a quick talk about the scenario. So I'm doing it this way just in case we have any problems with the video. Sometimes the audio and the video go out of sync. So this way then we just make sure that everything's fine before we finish it off. Welcome back, guys. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to open up all the rides. So these Triceratops launch coasters there, they'll open up now, so they'll shoot off at some point. The test results will come back, and then the game will recognize we've got 10 coasters over 6 excitement, and it'll let us pass the scenario. So what we did then when we came in, the scenario goal was 10 coasters over 6. So the path came out by here. I plonked down a few rides, a few shops, put all my research into roller coasters, and then came down here, built a nice double width path coming down. We've built path loop then, and all these rides on the inside, and we've completed it. Stew! Great stuff. And then once we done that, then we had about 600 guests in the park, so we were starting to make a little bit of money, and we had a lot of guests in, because what I like to do is do all that first, because there's a few reasons for that. Firstly, I think it does look better. I think the park looks a lot better with all these other rides in there, not just coasters. It also ensures that we've got a lot of guests in the park, so that when I do build a coaster, so this one was the first coaster I built, the queue line was rammed, and we were charging £10 a go on that, so we're making a lot of money straight away as soon as we put it down. And also it means that when we do build the coasters, we've already got the paths to connect it to. We build the coaster, and all we need to do then is do the entrance and exit paths, and that's it. We haven't got to worry about all the paving and stuff down here. And then we just, from there then we went on, built this Mobius twister here with the 2 top hats. Great timing. The looping coaster just here. Then we built the hyper twister, just goes all around the whole park. Then we had a ton of cash, so I figured I'd put down this completely ridiculous Giga coaster. Again, the timing's brilliant. Just after that then, we've got T-Rex, the stand-up twister, just behind. From there then, we built the air-powered coaster. You can just see it plonking up and down. Just waiting for it to shoot up. No. Okay. So my run of brilliant timing has ended. And then from there then we built the mine train, Triceratops. So we got 3 launched coasters, 3 LIM launched coasters together. And then we've got the Racing Mobius Hyper Twisters, and then finally then that brought us up to 10, but obviously the corkscrew coaster, the first one, was under 6, so then we had a nice empty section over here, so I just built this quick and simple flawless coaster just here. Good excitement, got all my coasters named after dinosaurs, and that brought us over the 6 and completed the park. So it's quite a fun park to play. The coaster building scenarios are always fun. I've enjoyed every one that we've played. I think the only issue with it was, and there's no problem with the scenario is great. The layout, the landscape's nice. It's fun working with the terrain and building the coasters around the terrain, like the looping coaster and the stand-up twist. I mean, that was all great. But the only issue I have, and this is something I've had with, probably the main issue I have with the scenarios, is that they're in the wrong order. I mean, they're in whatever order they're in. They're obviously in the right order, but they're in the wrong order from a difficulty point of view, because this should have been earlier on in the game, because I figure anyone who's new to the game will benefit from playing a scenario like this a lot more if it was one of the first few tiers than they would now, because they're not really going to benefit that much from it now, because by now you've built loads of parks, you've built loads of coasters, so you know what you're doing. You're going to complete it quite simply. If it was right at the start, then it would be a good park to practice building coasters with, because there's no time limit on this one, so you can take as long as you want. But that's my only gripe, and in the grand scheme of things, if that's the only issue I have with it, it's not really an issue at all, is it? So yeah, another fun scenario, but we are looking for something a bit more challenging at this stage of the game, because I think we're around halfway through the last but one tier now. So please let there be more challenging scenarios. So I am Stu. This was Coaster Crazy. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Bye.